I first heard about Penny Templeton's studio through a friend of mine who she found one of her flyers at the Drama Bookshop in New York City, and she'd heard that I'd been going to all these different studios trying to find some acting coaches. This was very, I'd only done commercials up until that point. I saw this flyer, and for whatever reason I looked at her on the flyer and she just looked really warm and welcoming. I said, let me check this place out. From the space to her, there was an energy, and the energy was very welcoming and warm. And what I ended up learning as we started working together is, first of all, we got along great, we hit it off, but more specifically is it was very intimidating because she was really brutal at first. She was very direct, and she, if I wasn't, in the moment for something, or if something didn't connect with me, if whether it was a substitution or anything, if something wasn't connected, she would be very quick to let me know and be very direct about it. And to be honest, I appreciated that. For instance, she had this pamphlet when I first signed up, and it basically spoke about everything that she had, and all her technique in terms of how she teaches, substitutions, how to break down scripts, how to break down characters. And I never kind of had that laid out in front of me that way. People always spoke about it, but it'd be vague, or they just weren't specific. So that's how I first found out about it. And as soon as we met, we clicked, and I've been using the Penny Templeton technique since, so it's been great.
How do you work with Penny today?
We Skype all the time now, and I think I was one of her first Skype sessions, and it was a really interesting kind of setup and scenario where I was in Puerto Rico, and there was this job that I loved, and I had no time to go out to LA, and I had no time to even go to New York. I had to put myself on tape on the spot now. It was immediate, there was no time. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? I called Penny, and she'd been mentioning, she had this concept of Skyping this whole time. She wanted to Skype with people and be able to work with people online. So I was like, all right, let's do it. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. So we set it up where I had my friend sit down and hold the camera, and he filmed me. And basically he had my laptop on his lap with Penny on Skype speaking to me through the laptop. So it was bizarre, it was strange, it was weird, but it absolutely worked. And for the moment, for what I needed, it was perfect.
What was your favorite part of class?
My favorite parts of class? Well, obviously the I'm So Pissed have become incredibly famous, I think. I'm sure for a lot of people it's just a way to kind of get up on stage and completely just say whatever you want and vent, or whatever's pissing you off, or whatever you have on your mind and you just gotta get out. It's a great place to do that. So the I'm So Pissed were one of my favorite things. I also really enjoyed the 10 to 1s. I thought the 10 to 1s were great. First of all, incredibly challenging for me at first. And like I said, she likes to push you, and she likes to, if you're uncomfortable, I feel like then she knows she's doing the right thing. She's doing her job. And those 10 to 1s were incredibly uncomfortable for me at first, but we kept working on them, and she was very specific about how each one has to be a completely different stage when you go from 10 to 9 to 8 and working your way down. So I love those exercises. I still try to do those exercises even if I'm not working. If I'm home, I'll do the exercises. So yeah, those two probably for me were my favorite.
Cool. So when you're on set, do you use your technique?
I still prepare myself the same way. For the most part, I'm still always trying to evolve myself, and I'm always trying to improve myself. So and that's the cool thing about our relationship, I gotta say, is she's always trying to improve her technique. She's always trying to learn. I'm always trying to improve my craft and always trying to learn. And we collaborate that way a lot, which is actually really cool. She'll call me and she'll say, what have you learned? What are you doing? And I'll say, well, this is happening, and now they're shooting shows with little cameras. They don't even need big, cameras anymore. And so we share all these cool things, and it's really created a very close bond between her and I. And she's become, for sure, beyond just an acting coach for me. But there's no doubt about it. Without having Penny in my life, a lot of my base and foundation definitely comes from her.